my name is Emily Pont, and this is my presentation on future goal as an educational studies major. So the track I want to pursue and focus on, I am getting an educational studies major with a track focus on family and human development. I want to become an elementary teacher with this degree. I have passion for youth and love seeing the things that they are able to accomplish at such a young age. Family and human development is the study of individuals and how they grow and change throughout their lives, particularly in their families, schools, and communities. If I could start teaching tomorrow, I would choose 3rd grade. I think this is a fun age to teach. I feel like at this age group, they still enjoy learning. They haven't reached that age where they feel like they're too cool for school yet. They also start to know more of their interests and know more about themselves as a person. So some of my strengths, pursuing a career in elementary teaching, I would be responsible for educational and emotional of children in the classroom setting. One key strength I listed was that I have a lot of experience with children. This includes volunteering every Sunday at my church to help elementary age kids learn and lead them into a deeper conversation about God. I have coached many softball teams as well as babysat and nannied for many different families. Before the pandemic, I was volunteering in many different grade levels, helping students as well as teachers. The second strength is my personal characteristics. These skills are going to help me in my future career as well as in the classroom. The fourth key strength is my educational background to become a teacher. I have studied and have a degree in liberal arts and am getting my bachelor's in educational studies with a track focus on family and human development, as well as getting my credentials and master's after I graduate with my bachelor's. And one strength that I can benefit from through navigating emotions that would serve me well as an elementary teacher is having consequential thinking, which is something that I have been doing for a long time. In our book, EQ from the Inside Out, De Souza explains that consequential thinking is reasoning before you act on something. By doing this, I am able to develop emotional qualities such as humility, empathy, integrity, perseverance, and creativity. These qualities are very critical to have in the classroom. So some of my leadership skills would be showing my students what it means to have integrity, courage, focus, passion, and what a positive attitude looks like in the classroom. I also will be showing them how to have effective problem-solving skills. In my classroom, I will be leading by example, and I want students to treat one another the way they want to be treated. The article, What Do Learners in Different Fields Need to Succeed, states that there are 6 competencies were rated most vital to leadership success, and those were building collaborative relationships, leading employees, strategic perseverance, talking with initiative, participative management, and change management. I want to encourage my students to adopt these leadership skills because they use them throughout their life, and they can also use them once they are done with my classroom. So some motivations behind becoming a teacher. I have a lot, but one is why I really wanted to become. I remember hating school when I was in elementary. I would literally cry every day because I didn't want to go to school because I didn't feel supported as a student. It wasn't until 3rd grade my teacher, Mr. Hansen, became a mentor to me. He was one that changed my view on school. I was a horrible reader and always encouraged me to keep trying and to keep practicing reading to myself during our reading time. He was my mentor in school, and I want to be one of my students' mentors as well. To this day, he is a teacher I look up to and want to be that person for my students. I have found some good teacher qualities in myself. I am creative, open-minded, a good listener, very organized, nurturing, knowledgeable, approachable, trustworthy, and there's much more. Bringing out the best in myself will allow me to encourage with my students and help them in the best way I can. I would like to give the best of myself in the hope that the students will give the best of them. Building my self-esteem will allow me to have the best behavior in everything I do. Every day as a teacher, it's not going to go as planned, and when that happens, I will have to remind myself that I am not doing anything wrong, I just need to adjust the agenda for the day. In my future classroom, I want to make learning fun so my students and I can feel motivated. I will also remind myself of all my achievements, talents, and my gifts to keep me going and growing. I will have to face obstacles in this career, but they are only temporary. I can look at them as an opportunity to help me grow stronger in my career. I want my students to know and understand that there are many opportunities out for them in the world. I want to create good opportunities for them to succeed in my classroom, so once they leave, they can have the skills they have learned into their own hands. As a future teacher, I want to make a change. I want to make a change in my community, at the school that I work for, in my students' life, as well as mine. I want to change the way my students think about learning. I want them to get excited and have fun while learning. I want to change the way we look at education because times are changing and we need to change with it as well. I will encourage my students to make changes and try new things in their life because they never know, they might like it. While loss aversion might be a barrier in many instances, we can take advantage of the basic tendencies to encourage ourselves. This can create barriers in my attempt to change lives. I want to be a maker of my own destiny. A good way to make situations less or more appealing is by reframing the situation. I will use this day to day and encourage my students to change the way that they look at their situations. If my students fail at the first time, I will motivate them to try again and praise them when they succeed. My last motivation would be making learning fun, and I want my future students to have fun while they learn. Some leaders that have inspired me are Miss Vitino, Mr. Hansen, and Miss Bragg. These three individuals all have inspired me sometime in my life. They have been motivators, change makers, and leaders to me. I believe I am pursuing a career in teaching because of them. Mr. Hansen and Miss Bragg are the ones that changed the way that I looked at school. It wasn't a chore, nor was it a place I dreaded going anymore. Miss Vitino has always pushed me to do my best, and when I would say I'm tired, she would tell me to try harder, and the next time around I would be able to get it. I have been able to push myself past the limits I never thought I could go. I am very grateful for these three leaders that have inspired me. Empathy and Advocacy. An article called Teaching with Empathy, Why It's Important by Amanda Morin states, empathy is the way of connecting with other people that shows you understand they're experiencing something meaningful. Even though you may not understand exactly how it feels for them, empathy as a powerful tool that I can use to better understand what's driving my future students' behavior and find strategies to help. It can also help me connect with the work through their difficult moments together. I will implement empathy in my classroom by connecting and understanding with my students about what they are going through. I will show them that they are not alone, and I will not judge them, but instead be by their side and guide them. I will also put myself in their shoes. Every child deserves an adult who believes in them, who helps them achieve their goals, pushes them to do their best, and never gives up on them. I feel that as a future educator, I am positioned to be that person for my students. With this information, I will be able to advocate for my students and their unique needs in order for them to prosper. Listening to my learners is the greatest approach to understanding them. Effective listening methods are used by good advocates. An article called Stand Up for Your Students with the Small Steps by Kimi Frank explains effective listening strategies and how to be an advocate for your students. Maintain eye contact, give frequent nonverbal feedback, and wait for a pause to ask clarifying questions. Finding out your students' talents, interests, needs, and goals will help you give the important information necessary to advocate for them. It is also shows them you care about their well-being and success. Some ways I will be implementing advocacy in my classroom is by encouraging students to speak up and listen, focusing on what the students need and their long-term goals, and asking others for help. Noble goals. In our book, De Souza explains that a noble goal provides us direction, wisdom, and passion, not just long-term goal. According to 6 Seconds, a noble goal will meet these 5 criteria. Integrating, not complete in your life, pointed outward, gets you out of bed, and no one made to feel less valuable. I can say that I have passion for teaching because there is corresponding positive energy and emotion inside of me when I think about it. So my 6 noble goals are: I will be supporting students learning in my classroom. My long-term focus is guiding my students to success. My focus is on my students and not myself. Teaching inspires me to be the best person I can be. I want to individualize my teaching so none of my students have to struggle. And these are my references. Thank you for watching.